It's still dark. Listen, I am up early this morning. It's Sunday morning, and I'm fixing to do a little pot roast for lunch, and I want you to be with me while I do that. I'm going to fix some other things too, but today I'm going to just go over the pot roast again with you and all. But it's a gorgeous day outside, and because this is the day that the Lord has made, I'm going to rejoice, and I'm going to be glad in it. And so I hope you will too. It's a wonderful day. Still dark, but I know it's going to be good. It's going to be a good day. Anyway, I've got my pot right here. It's an iron pot because I'm going to cook it in the oven. But first what you do is you put it on your eye, turn it on, and then, let's get you down a little bit. And then I've got my pot roast, or my roast. This is a chuck roast. And I like a chuck roast because it has a lot of fat in it and marbled. And so it makes for a good roast. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pepper it and salt it. So I'm going to put my pepper on this side. I think y'all seen this before. Oh, and I'm going to put me some oil in my skillet. I don't want to put much. What I'm going to be doing is just searing this. That looks like about 4 or 5 tablespoons. And I'm going to sear this roast in there so that it seals in the juices. So I put salt on that side. I'm going to put, pepper. Now I'm going to put salt. Then I'm going to turn it over. Put pepper and salt. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to flour the roast. Now you can use either flour you want. You can use white lily plain or white lily self-rising. I'm using the plain. I'm going to turn that down. Some of you said, there was somebody wrote in and said they made their biscuits out of all-purpose flour, which is the same as plain. But you can't make biscuits out of all-purpose flour unless you add things to it. And I don't like to add stuff, so I just always buy the self-rising for biscuits. But the all-purpose I use for cakes and a lot of my cookies, just different things that the recipe calls for. But today I'm going to use the all-purpose flour, and I'm going to put some in my pie plate right here. Just a little bit, because I'm going to flour this meat. And how I'm going to do that is this. I'm going to take my meat and I'm going to put it in my flour. Press it down. Get the flour all over it like that. And on the other side. And I'm going to do the edges. So you just go like this all the way around and do the edges, okay? And what I'm going to do is sear it in this thing right here, and then I'm going to put the whole thing in the oven and cook it. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. All right, make sure you got your flour on it real good. Pat it in. What a mess I'm making this early in the morning. I slept good last night. Everything's great. I've had my coffee. All right, I'm going to put it in. And I am going to let that sear. I'm going to turn it down a little bit on this side. And then I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to do the other side. And what that does is that sears those juices into there, and this flour that's on it's going to help with my gravy when that time comes, okay? Let me wash my hands off. Let me rinse them off just a little bit. And I'll show you what else I got, okay? Let me get it out of the refrigerator so you can see what I got. I've got, the children are coming today, but anyway, I'm going to do that pot roast. And I got 2 things of asparagus. I love asparagus. And so what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to rinse it off, and then I'm going to cut off these old those old hard ends off of it. And I'm going to just kind of steam, stir fry with the top on it till they get tender. And I'm going to do that with butter and a little olive oil. And then we're just going to eat them just like that. That can't be any easier than that, but aren't they pretty? I do love asparagus. I've tried to plant it lots of times in my life, but it didn't work out for me. I guess it's because I didn't know what I was doing, or either it was the wrong area. I don't know if the South can grow asparagus good. Maybe y'all grow asparagus in your part of the country. All right, I'm going to sit this right here, and I'm going to use some of that flour right there for my gravy in a little bit. I'm not going to make my gravy, though, till we come home from church. All right, I'm going to check it and see if I'm going to check it and see if it's a little bit brown on the other side. I'm going to peek. I am going to peek. No, it's not quite brown enough. This roast will go a long way, though, today. You could do rice with yours. You could do creamed potatoes with yours. Whatever you wanted to fix with yours. Noodles, maybe? I don't know. It's according to what part of the country you live in, isn't it? My book is doing well, my cookbook, so I encourage all of you to, if you haven't ordered yours for Christmas, you just go right ahead and order it, and order it for your friends and whoever. It'll be ready in November, and they'll be shipped out in November, and so it'll be just in time, and you could have all that Christmas shopping already done and everything. It's turning out really beautifully. Lots of great pictures in it, and stories, and all kinds of things in it. It's going to be a surprise for you, but my family, we're all just excited and elated about it. But I'm going to put you a phone number in there. It's a toll-free number, and I'm going to put you a website. So whichever way you want to order, it'll be fine. All right, let me turn this over now. I think this is about ready. And it is. So I just pick mine up like this and turn it over. I want you to see this side now that we've kind of seared it. You see down in there a little bit? I think you can. I had turned it down some so it wouldn't cook so fast. Yesterday I went outside and I cut some limbs about, I guess, maybe 6 to 8 inches long off of my snowball bush, and y'all saw that. It is huge, and the blooms on it are that big around. They're giant white blooms. So what I did is I went out to a sunny spot. I dug up some dirt and made me a good hole and chopped it around real good with my shovel. And then I cut off, on that limb that I cut off, I pulled all the leaves off of it, except for maybe the top 3 or 4. Put it down in that soft dirt real good, and I put about 8 of those around in that circle of dirt that I fixed up. I watered it in real good, and then I just cut off some old shrubbery that I don't even like. It's yopon. It's taken over the world, I think. I think it's invasive. We need to make war against the yopon. But anyway, I put it around in there just to shade my things that I'm trying to root, because I don't want that boiling sun to get to it today. So the reason I put about 8 of them in there is because some of them's going to make it, and some of them are not. And that's where I want it to grow. So I won't ever have to move it. Once the ones that are living, they'll just start growing. So I love to root things. All right, I got that side done. My oven says it's ready. Now I'm going to do the sides of it just a little bit right here. All the little sides. Do this side. Now see, it's not done. I'm just going to sear it for a few minutes. And it is seared. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the top on it, and I'm going to do some sauteed onions on the side. And when this cooks in the oven, then I'm going to make some gravy with it. But before I do that, let me put a little bit of water in it. put a little water. Because I don't want it to cook dry. Turn that off. Move it off the eye. And I do mine in something deep like this. I'm going to put a little water in it. It may steam up, so I'm going to put it on the meat. Just a little bit at a time, okay? You don't mix water and oil, that's the reason. But I want all those good flavors in there. All right, I'm going to let that, I'm going to put the top on it now, and I'm going to stick it in the oven. I'm going to cook it on 400 degrees. And till it gets tender. And I know you're thinking, well, how long, Miss Brenda? Well, I don't know. I do not know how long. I just stick a fork in there and make sure it's good and tender. So that's what I do. I'm going to put it in right now. Oh, down here out of the way. Woo, it's heavy. Well, it won't go. Wait a minute. I got to do something here. I'm going to have to turn this upside down so it'll fit in there. That handle's getting in the way. Let me do it that way. Now let's see if that'll work. Yep, that works. All right, it's going. And now I get to clean up my mess. You know, I told you Mama said I was the messiest cook in the world. I want you to look at this. And some of y'all are saying you can't find the white lily flour. Well, when you come to Andalusia to visit, y'all can just buy it here. Everybody sells it. And so anyway, it's real smooth. It's great flour. And I'm going to make my gravy out of this too. When that comes out, I'm going to mix flour and water together. Just a little bit at a time. And make me a slurry. And I'm going to pour that into that good broth that roast is fixing to make. And we'll have that for lunch today. God bless you all. Have a great Sunday. And it'll be good. Let me go in and let's read a little bit of our scripture before we leave. The scripture I'm going to read to you this morning comes from this little box. Isn't that pretty? This person, a follower, made this for me. I don't give out names on here because some people don't want their names done. But what she did is she took little cards and she wrote scripture or encouragement on it. And then she gave me a little tiny picture frame thing about that big, not frame, but holder. And you take this out and then you just sit it in there in your bathroom, because that's where I am sometimes getting ready, and I can read it. And then another lady made these, and they're cards too. And so they're encouragement cards and scripture cards, and these I tell you where they're coming from and everything. And since these fit in here, I've just been putting them together like that in my bathroom. And then every morning I pick a different one and I read them. Like today it says, where God guides, He provides. Isaiah 58:11. Where God guides, He provides. In other words, if He's guiding you to do something, He's going to provide what you need to do that job. And then in this little box, I'll just pick one out and see what it says. It doesn't matter. They're all great. And this one says, sometimes God uses your story by surrounding you with people who need to hear your past so it doesn't become their future. I'm going to read that again. Let that sink in. That's such good wisdom. Sometimes God uses your story, or my story, by surrounding you or me with people who need to hear our past so it doesn't become their future. In other words, they can learn from my mistakes, or I can learn from their mistakes. There was a lady at the Cottle House yesterday, and we were talking. And that's my microwave over there beeping. But anyway, we were talking, and she said she was telling about that she had a son that was a special needs child, and that he had passed away. And I said, you know, it's something how God gives everybody a different mission a different thing that he wants us to do. And the experiences that we go through in life, that's what we're to help others with. In other words, that lady can talk to other people who have special needs children because she's already been through it and she's learned things that she can share. I can't do that. Why? Because I never did have that situation. But I had a husband that had dementia. And I can talk to people about that. And I can help them with that because I've already been through it. And I have things to share that would help others. I've never been through a divorce, but some of you have. So you can share with other people who are having problems because you've already been through it, so you know. And so isn't it good how God uses our experiences to help others? That's what we're supposed to do with those experiences. So have a blessed Sunday. I hope I hadn't rambled on too long. I love y'all. Take care, and God bless you all, and God bless America. Bye-bye.